So back to just hanging out in my garage here for a little bit. Through the summertime, a lot of more of the videos are on riding and that type of stuff. But wintertime, as the weather changes, we're not riding as much. I still, I ride year round, but not as much when the temperatures get a little colder, and especially when you've got freezing rain, that type of stuff, which we get a lot of here in the northeast or southeast part of Pennsylvania. So, I have more time to do videos and just go through, kind of watch a lot of videos. I watch so many videos because this is where I learn. I learn tips from other people. A couple of my favorites at the top of the list are definitely Quinn Rediker's one of them. I mean, I love his style and the way he rides, and as I'm trying to learn more of the slow speed stuff, I love watching his videos. Jerry Palladino with Ride Like a Pro, that type of stuff. But I've kind of become a YouTube junkie and just watch a lot more videos over the wintertime. There's not as much to do outside. So that's kind of where where I'm coming from here. But one of the things that I also do is I like to get feedback and read a lot of comments and stuff and look at people, and not just on my channel, but on any kind of social media format. And one of the things that I notice is there's a lot of pages out there where people can ask questions. They'll ask questions about, well, this is a trip I'm planning next summer. We're planning on riding to, for example, a guy said they're planning a trip to Pennsylvania. Where should we be riding? So I'm from Pennsylvania. I do a lot of riding in this area. Personally, for me, my favorite part of Pennsylvania is probably north central, the northern part for sure. North central, northeastern, northwest, but I really like the kind of the central part of the state. But I've ridden on the west side, the east side, and love it all. I mean, I just love to ride. But if I had to pick a spot for someone to kind of pick a central location where they can kind of get to some nice riding, some day trips, going north, south, east, west, whichever direction, probably your best bet in PA is kind of set up somewhere in the center of the state. Maybe north central would be like Cinemahoning area, maybe even Morris, Pennsylvania. They have some nice campgrounds in those areas. And from there, you can get up into northwest New York, and there's some real nice riding up there. You could head, take 3 hours west, get something to eat, see some sights, and then get back to your campsite at that night. You can go east, north, south, whatever you want to do. But that's probably what I would recommend for somebody coming to Pennsylvania to do a couple of days of riding. That's one of the things that I really love about social media. Some of the social media stuff, there's plenty of keyboard warriors out there that you don't know what you're talking about, but it's pretty easy to pick those out, Some of them, man, sometimes I wonder if some of you even know what a motorcycle is, but you're commenting on motorcycle related pages. And what you're saying is just, it makes absolutely no sense. But whatever. I guess you're in your mom's basement and you're typing away on a computer and you're just putting whatever. You're just fussing, I guess. I don't know. But there are plenty of people that do a lot of riding, and I love watching those guys, following them. Not just guys, ladies, men, I don't care who it is. So I enjoy watching that kind of stuff. And one of the things that I've come to learn, my wife and I are Bunk A Biker hosts, and I've come to learn that the biker community around, not just, now I haven't ridden outside of the United States, as far as overseas, in Italy or Switzerland or Germany. I've been there in not to Italy, but I've been to all over the place with a vehicle, but I have not done a lot of riding outside of the United States of America here. But what I've learned is with like Bunk A Biker, for example, since we're hosts, we've had some very interesting people. We made new friends. I mean, it's just that simple. We've had 3 international travelers so far in the past 2 years or whatever it is. And we've had people from, just groups, couple people riding together, oftentimes solo riders, but we have had some people that were multiple riders, and, they just need a place to stay, need a place to sleep, maybe catch a shower. If we're available and we can take them out to dinner or something like that, or grill here or something, we'll do that. But we don't always have time to do that. My wife and I lead pretty busy lives, and so we don't always have time to do that. But we can provide a place to sleep, take a shower and sleep. We had, for example, we had 3 people that they didn't have, we weren't going to be home. And I said, well, I wasn't comfortable letting someone in my house when they got here. So we told them, hey, we have a pool room in the back, off the back patio. You're more than welcome to set up there. Or they did have tents with them. They said they can set up tents in the backyard. I said, you can do that. We won't be home until late Friday evening. They were planning on rolling in on Friday. And I said, we won't be home until late Friday evening. It'll be 10 p.m., 10:30. To some of you, that's not late. But to my wife and I, it's getting kind of late. But they were planning on rolling in here around 7:30 or 8. They were going to get something to eat and then just come here. They just wanted somewhere to sleep. So that's what they did. We got here that night. Next morning, they got up at 6 a.m. and they were ready to roll by like 6:30. And so, we offered to make them coffee, let them use the restroom or whatever. And we chatted with them for a few minutes in the morning before they rolled out. So that kind of stuff. That's one of the things that's just beautiful about social media, because it connects people and you can come together, and bikers help bikers. When I did the coast to coast trip this year, I was connected with some friends and some, people that I hadn't seen in a while and that type of stuff, and I knew they were living kind of stretched out along the path where we were going to be riding. And so I was able to stay at, set up a hammock or a tent at their houses. And that's the beauty of this. You get to reach out and say, hey, this is the area I'm coming to. Do you have a place for me to set up a hammock? 2 trees, or just set up a tent. I just need a place to lay my head. I don't need a steak dinner or something, even though sometimes that does happen. I mean, coming back from, out west this year in Wisconsin, I stopped at a friend's house that I hadn't seen him in about 10 or 11 years. And when they left PA and moved to Wisconsin, well, his wife went all out and made a good old home-cooked meal. It was the first home-cooked meal I'd had since I left home, And I wasn't expecting that, but she said, when I told him I'm stopping in, I'd like to stop in there, he said, oh, my wife will cook for you. And yeah, and she did. It was amazing. But you get to do this kind of stuff. And a lot of these connections are through social media. So that's one of the beautiful things. I've gotten to know so many people through social media, through Facebook or Instagram or YouTube. Facebook and YouTube are probably primarily what I use, but that, when you get to know people, Sean Wells, for one example, Larry Yeager, I've been following these guys and I see what they're doing. Justin Elderman, I could go on, and I love to try to catch up with them now and then. And I was able to catch up with, meet up with a number of them. Larry Yeager, I stopped there on our coast to coast trip. Sean went down to the Pan America Trail Jam, and finally got to meet him. Man, just incredible people. And they're bikers helping bikers, bikers looking out for bikers. That's the beauty of all of this. So when you're getting ready to do trips, I know I love to watch YouTube videos and look at the specific area where I'm going, and kind of take a look at some of the different routes and learn that kind of stuff off of YouTube. But, don't discount Facebook and some of the other outlets so that you can reach out and say, hey, I'm riding in this area. Now, learn to filter through some of it. Like I said earlier, some people just have no clue what they're talking about. And when they have their profiles locked or something, I get why some people do that. But if you can't see anything that they're doing, or if you're going through there, they might comment about a motorcycle trip, or they might comment on your question about where to ride in that area. and you kind of look at them, you're like, well, that comment doesn't really tie into what I'm asking. And you look at their profile and you're like, yeah, there's no motorcycles. There's no nothing. It's like, this person's just out there trolling, you know. So be careful with that kind of stuff because it does happen. But on the other hand, use it to your benefit when you go to do a motorcycle trip. Or if you're just learning to ride. You know, one of the pages on Facebook is New Motorcycle Riders, and there's a lot of experienced riders on there also. You don't have to be a new rider to be on that page and to comment on there, because there's a lot of experienced riders that will give new riders advice. So if you ever get to, with all this being said, if you ever get to the Lancaster, Pennsylvania area, I'm Wayne E. King on Facebook. Of course, 717 Throttle Therapy is the YouTube channel here. But if you need a place to stay, you know, we've got a garage. You can park your, we usually let people park their bikes inside most times if you know, if we can. In most situations we can. You know, situations where we can't is where, well, for example, the night that we didn't get home until later, my wife's car was in the garage. I was in the truck. We were in the truck, and you know, they didn't have access to the garage. So they just parked outside. They lined them up outside. But it was a beautiful evening. You know, it wasn't a big deal. I do have some tools. I'm not a master mechanic by any stretch of the imagination, but I can do some basics, you know, my own oil changes and that type of stuff. But in addition to that, too, I do have some connections with local people that, you know, if you run into a serious issue with your motorcycle, hey, we'll do what we can to help you out. You know, we'll do what we can to get you hooked up with the mechanic and try to keep your wheels rolling, you know, keep you on those two wheels and keep you moving. So feel free to reach out. Bunk A Biker, we are hosts on Bunk A Biker on Facebook. Trying to think of what else. I mean, basically, you can message me, Wayne E. King, and if you're coming to Pennsylvania, especially the southeast area, and need a place to stay, maybe you just want, you know, if I have time, I mean, I've done this, you know, I'll just get on the bike and we'll just go for a ride, you know, me and whoever else, and I'll show you some of the sights around the Lancaster area. Even if you want to park here, and which we've had this happen too, where they parked here, unloaded the bike. Layla is one example of that. I mean, she's incredible, man. She has her bike. She has a van that she kind of pretty much lives out of the van. And she does have a bed and stuff in the van, but, you know, we invite her into the house because we were here. It was like, come on in and sleep in here and take a shower. Do your laundry. We left her do your laundry, you know, because she hadn't done laundry in a little bit. She lives out of her van and she pulls her bike up into the van. She has a spot where the motorcycle parks. She parks the motorcycle and she gets somewhere. She parks, kind of sets up for a couple of days, unloads the bike and just rides the area on the motorcycle. It's really neat. You know, that's great. So, hit us up if you're looking to come to Southeast Pennsylvania. Wayne E. King. Make sure you get Wayne E. King on Facebook because Wayne King is my son. And he probably won't know what you're talking about. At any rate, over and out.